Hello everyone and welcome back to another edition of West Ham Fan TV's Midweek Musings, the show where we pick you 3 questions on Twitter and you get a chance to answer them as well as myself. First off, I've got to apologise for this being so late. I've been very sick. I'm not quite recovered yet. I've been in bed. I've got a little bit of a sore throat, but I should be recovered by tomorrow in time for the Sunderland game. But let's crack on with these because it's been too long. I asked you these nearly a week ago, so let's see what the questions were. Question 1: who should be between the sticks for the rest of the season, Adrian or Randolph? This is a tough one for me because I don't quite think that Adrian was pulling his weight in the side. I'm much more comfortable with Randolph in terms of commanding the area, but Adrian's an excellent shot stopper, and the thing that I've seen Randolph do in the last couple of weeks is chuck a couple of balls into his net. I think that Adrian got a little bit harshly treated and dropped. At the time I thought it was the right idea, but Randolph's done just as much wrong for me, so maybe it's time that Adrian come back in and took it. I don't know, it's a tough one. Both have got their, you know, their strengths, both have got their weaknesses. I don't think that Randolph was playing with an awful lot of confidence, and the confidence breeds through to the defenders as well. The Arsenal goal, we held on and our defenders were chucking themselves in front of it. Then all of a sudden Randolph chucks one in his own net. So, you know, that first goal he really should have saved, and then from there it was, you know, it was easy pickings for them. But if he don't chuck that one in his own net and they get a bit frustrated, you never know what could have happened. So maybe Adrian should come in now and to finish the season. He's been a great servant as well. He was our #1 for a long time and he's out of contract. We're not quite safe yet, but we're nearly there. Although Randolph did keep a clean sheet in the last game against Swansea, so I would say Adrian would have a point to prove as well with the last few months of the season. But obviously looking for a new contract as well. So let's see what you guys thought, because it's quite an interesting one because it's such a tough one. At John1664 says Adrian 100%, Randolph is what he is, a free transfer from Birmingham. And I did say I believe Adrian was also a free transfer. At Adrian SMDC, Adrian for me wasn't great at the start of the season, but our defence was terrible, making his job difficult, deserves another chance. PBN 1968, Adrian, Randolph seems to have lost confidence and lost command of box, especially at set pieces. At Red Hammer 8, on form or lack of, Adrian, but still no new deal, so perhaps best to keep the keeper that will be here next season happy. I hope we get a new one, mate, to be quite honest. At Slav, I'd go with Adrian for a change, but only after it's certain that we're safe. At Rob Herditch, Randolph has had fewer bad games than Adrian had before being dropped from me. Stick with him for now. At Mace WHU69, they're both dodgy and prone to a howler, much of muchness really. New keeper needed in the summer either way. Yeah, I mean, if you could combine the two of them and play both of them at the same time, Randolph commands his box, Adrian is a brilliant shot, so you'll have a world-class goalkeeper there. At Stu McDonald 94, Adrian, he'll have a point to prove and hopefully show us his quality again. That's if he wants to play and fight for a new contract. I would say he would do as well. Adrian is that sort of character that would possibly want to stay at West Ham. At Tommy, Tiger Tommy, just keep Randolph until the end of the season and then get a better keeper in the summer. My feeling, at Jake Lodeman, my feeling is Adrian deserves another go. Randolph looking low on confidence and could use Adrian's leadership plus passion. I'll take a few more on this. At Carlos Singh 5, I think Randolph should start versus Sunderland, and if we give Adrian a couple of starts, then I believe we are safe. At Billy Ray 91, I'd like to see Adrian given another chance. At Kurt Bailey 3, they're both a mistake waiting to happen, so really down to flipping a coin. And one more, I'm going to take one more. At Telv 1S, neither I'd give young Sam Howells 46 an opportunity. This lad is our England's future #1. There you go. There you go. Lots of different opinions there. So let's go on to number 2. Gold and Sullivan are looking to offload some shares, according to the tabloid today. If true, is this a welcome move? Look, apparently I'm not allowed to have an opinion on this. I've been getting a few pelters today, but I'm going to have an opinion. I'm not a massive fan of what the board have done. They did save us in 2010, and you know, up to about this season, I think I was really, you know, I was a big board supporter, and you know, I think they deserved a chance to take us into. Well, they own it. It's not about if they deserve a chance or not. They own the club. There's no choice. But I thought I'd give them an opportunity to show, after all of the stuff that's gone on in the summer, to really show us, like when we moved and that, to really show us what West Ham could be. And for me, they've badly let us down. Now, I don't feel like this is a witch hunt. I'm not witch hunting against. I'm merely stating facts. Yeah, they have lied through their teeth to get us to this stadium. That's fact. Yeah. I don't even think West Ham deny it anymore. That you know, there's a few in-truths and things. Like, you know, where's our statue? Like, even things like that seem to be, you know, forgotten under a plinth of other things. We're not as close to the pitches as they led us to believe. You know, the stadium isn't what everything that they led us to believe it was. They concentrate too much on corporate stuff rather than fan stuff. Like, there's loads of stuff that you could go into. Would this be a welcome move to let other shareholders come in? Yeah, of course it would. I think the thing is with them, I know that they're the majority shareholders, but I think, you know, a real serious investor that wouldn't be a majority shareholder, but could actually maybe give them some advice on how to sort of do things in this like atmosphere, in this stratosphere sort of thing in the football world. Because to me, them two being majority shareholders and really being uncontested in what they're doing, they shoot themselves in the foot too much for me. They speak too much. They promise things that they really shouldn't. They don't keep to their promises. They really treat this club like a bit of a circus at times, you know, with the media stuff, with the people tweeting out and all that nonsense. You know, like it or loathe it, you know, it shouldn't be happening at a professional football club. So maybe a fresh voice in the boardroom, someone to really say, like, you know, we shouldn't be doing this and we should be doing that. Someone to put their money and say to them, like, if you need to, you know, you need to look at, you know, real investment and real scouting rather than scouring Europe for the cheapest and, you know, the bargain basement and trying to find that gem for nothing, like the Lanzinis or the Saccos that or the Antonios that they've Cresswells that they've, you know, undoubtedly done well with. They find a player in the lower leagues or unknown leagues, and they bring them up to being not a world-class player, but a player worth a lot of money. It seems to be what they aim to do, where we should be now at a point where we've built our squad and we should be signing sort of, I'm not saying world-class, you know, Lacazette's and whatever may have been a step too far, although if we'd have pushed the boat out, you never know what would have happened. But we needed to sign a class of player that was above our level, just above, to take us to the next level. A class of player that would have slotted straight into our team. We only needed 3 or 4, but we needed 3 or 4 that would have dislodged people in the first team, whoever it would have been. If you'd have bought a striker that would have dislodged Andy Carroll, it would have been better. If we'd have bought a midfielder that would have taken Mark Noble or Obiang's place because they was better, it would have been better. That's how you improve a squad. You don't improve a squad by keeping the same personnel, because everyone, year in, year out, their abilities wane. it's true. The older you get, the less good games you have, and you need to be bringing in players to sort of take these players' places. That's where we improve. Instead, we sign players that were good enough for the squad, but not good enough to get into the first team, and that's why we didn't improve. So maybe a fresh voice and saying, look, this is the level we're at, because I think with the two Dave, I think they're away with a fairy sometimes. Sometimes I think they're way above their station, and then sometimes I just think they just want to survive, which is not really what we move for. If that's what we move for, then we're idiots. Let's see what some of you guys think. At PBN 1968, if true, yes, as I think Gold and Sullivan are reluctant to spend the sums required for a genuine top six. At Slav, if it would help us in any way, it'd be welcome. I personally don't believe it, though. I don't believe it either, to be quite honest. I think West Ham come out and said, that it wasn't true. At B. Lavelle 91, probably not true, but wouldn't mind some outside investment coming in if it goes towards transfers. Can't see them giving up majority, though. At Adrian SMDC, if it's true, I'd be very happy. More investors mean more money, and these days, that's what football is all about. They don't have the money. At the Bowling says they don't have the money to compete anymore. They know this and need to find serious funds. At Mace WHU 69, not if it means they retain control or influence in the club. I'd want a full buyout and them fucked off out of it completely. At Peter Dubai says, yes, GNS don't have enough money and we need to spend 300 million on 5 or 6 top players, top 6 stadium, bottom 6 team at a minute. One Bobby Moore, any Arab or Russian would think so. I invest all this money, it pays off loans to Gold and Sullivan and kids to get to mouth off on Twitter. At one Bobby Moore again, anyone with major funds would look at how West Ham United FC are run and piss himself laughing. B, no serious interest while Gold and Sullivan remain at the club. At Jake Loadman, is water wet and the grass green? At Bootsy Jam, can't imagine who would buy the shares. Gold and Sullivan can still stuff things up as they remain seated on the board. At Moses Masaki, no. Simple as that. At Cockney Bot, take a few more on this. At Cockney Born, I can't see anyone who only gets a small share in the club helping us money wise. I see the David pocket in that. I'll take a couple more. At Billy Ray 91, sell all the shares to someone like who took over a City. That was probably the only way we can move forward from where we are now. At Den Vincent, no big investors will want to buy shares unless they have at least 51% ownership of the club. At Kurt Bailey 3, if it's 100% then it'd be more than welcome. And I'm going to take one more. At NI West Ham, more investors equals more money, which for me means more chance of signing better players and pushing us to the next level. I'm going to take one more. At Macca 11 Paul, simple, we need investment to develop and move forward. Needs to be the right investor, but we need to be spending 150 mil this summer. I don't think it's I've got no problem with them not spending the money if they pick out quality. And if Messi become a free transfer and we signed him on a free transfer, I'm not going to moan because they haven't spent any money on Messi. But they need to find players that improve our team, not our squad. We don't want squad players. We don't need 13 or 14 squad players. We need people to go into the first team and improve it. And that's how you improve as a football club. That's what everybody else does. When Southampton signed Gabby Adina, they didn't sign him to say, oh, well, we can sit on a bench. Simple as that. Marseille, was it as promised? It was pretty much like Marseille's bang on, to be quite honest with you. It's in the upper tier. I've got a decent view. Can't really complain about the money I pay for it. Would I want to move? At one point, I did want to move because we had an incident up where we sat where we were shouting and supporting the side and standing up, and when we was on the attack and we had people telling us to sit down. At that point I really did want to move. I did want to go down to 114 or 118, I think it is, to get in with the standards. it was just after all the standing problems were starting to die down, and you know, when you've got people around you telling you to sit down when you're standing up for an attack, I don't think that's great. So I did want to move. I was adamant that I wanted to move. I felt a bit sorry for the people that do want to move, because asking you to pay money more or less straight away, even though you want to move, like, let's take my friend for instance. My friend Tom sits in the 1966 seats. 1,100 quid they cost him a season. Not happy with them whatsoever. Thinks that where I sit is a better value for him. It's more than half the money off of his season ticket. Wants to sit there. To move seat, he had to pay 1,100 quid on that day to have any chance, really. Only to pay it to say he wants to move, then to get a refund. Why? Like, you know what I mean? Just let people apply for who wants to move. I'm sure it'll sort itself out mostly. Like, you'll get people down in other parts of the stadium that would want to sit where Tom sits, who can then go and sit where they used to sit. I don't really see the point in taking all this money if you want to move, especially when you're taking more money than it should be. Like, if Tom wants to move to a lower band seat, then why does he have to pay the 1,100 quid when, you know, they're going to have to refund him the 600 anyway? I don't know. It just wasn't great. Like, but as I say, I was happy with my seat. It was pretty much as promised, although there was some falsification on the digital images that it gave me. That definitely weren't what I see on the screen and I wondered why at the time they didn't want you to take pictures. But let's see what some of you guys have to say. Have you renewed? Bobby Lavelle 91, renewed yes, but can't move seats yet. They're giving people a chance to renew first. Think you can choose in June. PB and Marshall, yes, renewed early to move seat. Seat not really as promised, as further away from pitch than told by the reservation centre. Yeah, I hear you there, mate. At Nick the Greek 27, not yet. We'll do it as late as possible. No intention of giving them my money earlier than I need to. At Red Hammer 8, no, I still have a month of West Ham to pay for before season's finished. I'll renew then. Luckily, I don't wish to move as handled poorly, in my opinion. At Slav, renewed on the first day because I want to move. I must have been drugged in a reservation centre. Yeah, we all were, mate. At Ned Harding, seats were great where we are. We'll renew once season finishes. At Paul Peaston, renewed my seats are fine, but looking to move due to negative fans sitting in the area. We had some of them as well. You don't sit near us, mate, yeah? At Tiger Tommy, haven't renewed yet, but definitely will. My seat looks pretty much like it was shown at the reservation centre. At Jag Lodeman, not renewed yet, but will be and will be sitting where I have been this season. View's not a massive issue. At Dave Ash 3, I have yet to renew. I love my club, but I feel I'm just a commodity being ripped off by a board that talks and profits from deceit. 91 Pete Green, I haven't yet. The only reason I will renew is so I don't lose all the priority points I've accumulated for away games. That's, yeah, you have to be a season ticket to get decent chance of getting away games now. Had to buy 2 seasons up front. If I hadn't, I don't know if I would renew. Can handle crap football, but the stadium is a pain. At Mel, that was from Stan WHU1. At Melman Anthony, I'm giving up my season ticket to be a stop/go board holder. He loves it. At Richard Puffin, renewed, have kept seats, but hoping to move closer in June as in the same block. At Paul McMahon, wish this applied to me and my lad. Didn't get last year and still on the waiting list. As a Claret member, has been to 13 games and is expensive. At Alex PB8 at PBWHUFC, renewed my home and away season ticket. Typical of the ball to do a first come first serve policy. All about the money. At Telv 1S, no, I haven't and I won't be either. Lost interest if I'm honest. And Tweezer, let's take a couple more on this. at Tweezer Geezer. I haven't yet, but we're happy with my seat, or should I say where I stand. That's from Tweezer Geezer. Have at Kev's the Marks, have renewed early to change seats and view, not as promised. Somebody was banned, Ben Knowles 21, haven't renewed yet because I couldn't, I'm still banned. Case dropped yesterday / no evidence. I don't know what that's about, mate. At Tim HBB, haven't renewed but will. Furious with the seat I was given. Was a season ticket holder 2 years previous to this one. Want to move, but it looks unlikely. At Zarino 1, I come from Croatia 2-3 times a year on home matches. And one more at Adrian SMDC. I haven't yet, but I will. Happy with the view from my seat currently, but will move if I get a chance. Fed up of sitting down at West Ham. So there you go. Thank you very much for getting involved on this week's edition of on the social. What am I talking about? And there you go. Thank you very much for getting involved on this week's edition of Monday Musings, where it's midweek musings now, but it's the end of the week. Go and follow us on Twitter at West Ham Fan TV, Facebook.com/West Ham Fan TV. Look out for all the content over the weekend for the Sunderland fan cams, the Sunderland post-match pint, the previews, the on the social that's up already, and all that jazz. And we'll be back next week with even more great content. And don't forget to subscribe. Hit a like on this video, it really helps us. I'm not sure why it helps us, but it does help us. If you hit a like and leave a comment down below on any of the issues that I've just raised. And I'll see you next week. Thanks for watching. Come on, you irons.